Yeah, he's not winning any awards here for intelligence. I lay down on the couch and stayed there dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. There was a note in my house saying that Mom and Dad would be home late and I should have some ramen or something for dinner. I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just stared blankly at the ceiling without eating anything. The hands of the clock were already pointing at 10. Would I get another phone call like that today? Even though Shion had already disappeared? Would she still call me? Where were they calling from, and who were they? The more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. Yeah, if the game makes this Mion pretending to be Shion on the phone, I would be... That's not going to be a happy me. I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I'd been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Hold on, Keiichi Maebara. Ooishi-san admitted it himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot? Couldn't she just gone to relatives that Ooishi-san didn't know about and been there ever since? Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody, so it wouldn't be strange to think she went somewhere she usually didn't in order to hide. That must be why Ooishi-san couldn't locate her, and why he labeled her a disappearance. Good to know that Keiichi learns absolutely nothing. Ever. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Then my right hand moved its own volition and slapped me on the cheek. The ghost of Rika-chan has moved you to actually gain intelligence. Its cold sting let me calm down a little. I knew I didn't want to admit she'd disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was one on the phone or not. Would I ask her if she was actually Shion? That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do. If the person on the other end still believed I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage. Casually, completely casually, I would listen to what she had to say, and fend her off. I would tear the skin off the monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as last survivor, the people who went into the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. Still, then who would call me and pretend to be Shion? I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. That was definitely Shion's voice. It sounded just like her. It could have only have been Shion. There was someone, though, wasn't there? Someone who sounded just like Shion. Mion. Who else could have done this? God damn, you are an idiot, Keiichi Maebara. At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Like being questioned about sneaking into the ritual storehouse, and how she shook the louder while spouting curses. Who else? Who else could have... Why though? Why would Mion... I thought back to the things about the Sonozaki family that I'd heard from Ooishi-san and Shion. Mion was always entangled in the incidents, in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. Yeah, both of them could have done it. I don't see Mion having a reason to. At all. Any. Like you said, no motive. Courage. Give me the courage. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know it will ring tonight. The phone never rang. It would be so easy to run away. That, though, would be the same as making it easy for them to erase me. I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. I was sure Shion would use tricky words to try to trap me. Be careful. Be careful. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, 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 don't want to do this. Oh, the phone did ring. At that point, it rang. The phone rang and I didn't know where the call was coming from. Caller ID was not a thing yet, sadly. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today, she'd been calling me like nothing happened. Now again, tonight, the people that had disappeared, their corpses simply hadn't been found. I really didn't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, then did that mean she was calling me from another world? Of course, that couldn't be. A living being was calling me, pretending to be Shion. Or a living Shion was calling you, pretending to be a victim. Shion was long gone, and yet, as though she were alive and well, the phone continued its incessant ringing. Pick up the freaking phone, dude! I didn't want to pick it up if I didn't have to. I had just concluded, though, that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. Then, what would I do after I answered it? Would I immediately declare she wasn't Shion and ask who she was? Alternatively, would I pretend I was still fooled and try to grab her by the tail?
それが一番安全かもしれないよな。
What I was most afraid of was what the person on the phone would do when she realized I knew she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? If I just make sure to be careful, that should be the safest option. I've made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time, though. I'd scope her out. Who was she? What was she thinking? And what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Tomataki-san and Takano-san? What had happened to the mayor? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? I reached out for the receiver, my arm trembling. There were too many things I wanted to know, too many things I wanted to ask. I was scared. I should start by picking up the phone. Pick it up, Keiichi. Pick it up, Keiichi!
もしもし。
Oh, how relieved I would have been if it hadn't been a call from Shion.
あ、ケイちゃんですか？私です。シオンです。
My momentary, convenient, and above all, fleeting prediction was ripped into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't help shaking at this point. Get ready for this.
電話、なかなか出なかったんで、お留守かと思って切ろうとしてたんですよ。
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでも、ご家族の方が電話を取りませんか？
Oh, good. We're going to tell her that our family's not here, aren't we?
ひょっとして、ケイちゃんの家、今ご両親はお留守なんですか？
I couldn't be more surrounded by loving family any more than right now. I failed. I let her in on a fatal piece of information, that I was currently the only one at my house.
いや、別に留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより、聞いたか？リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局、あの後どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
Yep, time to pick up the baseball bat and the ramen. We're gonna practice our championship swing some more.
見つからなかった。
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
If Ooishi-san hadn't let me know, then I might have allowed myself to shed a tear or two at Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that it had come to this, I couldn't take her words at face value. This person on the other end of the receiver, the more perfect as Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear.
リカちゃんとサトコはさらわれたんだよな。
はい。それは間違いないでしょうね。
Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold? Their weight astonished me, and then a moment later, I was overcome with numbness and felt like I would pass out. I had asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Shion, in turn, had answered that there wasn't much doubt. That cruel meaning behind her words.
リカちゃんとサトコは、いや、ごめん。村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？まだ生きてるんだろうか？
What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped? That's what I wanted to ask, but I frantically caught myself. What if she had given that question a terrifying response in such a way to sound like it had nothing to do with her? I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayor.
殺されちゃったんだと思います。
Of course.
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらってその状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、ヨンが済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
The world started to bend so much I almost lost my balance. The scenery in my eyes whirled around and around like the hands of a clock and tried to swallow me whole from below. I frantically put a hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later, a severe nausea welled up within me. How was she saying such things so lightly?
殺しちゃうってそんなにあっさり。
New music. It sounds kinda sorta familiar.
人の命を何だと思って
It
やが
does
るんだ。
kinda remind me a little bit of Leighton.
恐ろしいことだとは思いますが。
It actually almost reminds me more of the courtroom, some of the courtroom music in Ace Attorney. Not quite cornered or anything like that, but you know, something along those lines.
多分そうではないかと。
If the mayor was killed, then did that mean the same thing had happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? No, that couldn't. They weren't some random old man. It was Rika-chan. It was Satoko. They couldn't kill them so readily.
リカちゃまとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Thank you, Miss Gloomy Sun. Those were the words I wanted to hear the least, and I fought them back with a scream of my own. Even though it wouldn't change anything, I still couldn't help but scream. I'm sorry, the last bits of that trailing off are hilarious. My god. You know, this sounds like what if the people that made Aviary Attorney had come up with their own music? This sounds like something they would have come up with. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. This time, the tears flowed. I've been confronted with the most horrific outcome that I've been trying to avoid considering ever since last night, and I cried. There was no longer any doubt that it was my fault. I killed them. I killed Rika-chan and Satoko. I succumbed to the weakness of my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. That's why they were killed. That meant I killed them. When Rika-chan looked at me with those innocent eyes, if only I hadn't given in, even my voice gave out, and yet still, I cried. And cried.
Kei-chan, どうか気を確かに。
Rika-chan and Satoko, they've been killed. We couldn't even find their remains. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. If that was to be my punishment, then how brutal punishment it was. Yeah, this was probably going to happen no matter what, because Keiichi is going to be Keiichi. I don't know if it had anything to do with the confession specifically. But, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure Rika disappearing had nothing to do with the confession. I'm still of the opinion that Shion is alive, actually calling him and just, you know, has faked her own disappearance.
そんなことでどうするんですか？次に狙われるのは確実に私かケイちゃんなんですよ。
Really?
お願いですから、しっかりしてください。お願いします。お願いしますから。
Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate the sound of that voice more and more. This Shion killed them. We haven't seen Shion with our own eyes since she dumped us at the, since she left us alone at the hands of Ooishi at the library. But we've gotten routine calls from her. Mion, we saw last night at the, trying to, find Rika and Satoko. Why? Why?
どうしてだよ。どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。 悪魔ですよね。
Yep. It felt like crushing the receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? There was magma that hit my stomach, and it felt like it was going to erupt at any moment.
なあ、シオン。教えてくれ。 どうしてこの木並沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことになってしまったんだ。
それは私が知りたいです。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのにどうしてまだたたり足りないんだ。どうしてだよ。どうして。理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
I was incoherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam inside of me, rushing forth, and I couldn't stop them. These were not simple questions. This was an interrogation. Shion herself hadn't realized it yet. It was just too funny. It was so funny I couldn't stop crying.
ケイちゃんの気持ち、私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔に終わったんです。なのに毎年、お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
Damn, dude!
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Both our ragged breaths could be heard over the phone.
いいですか？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。奴らは狡猾でした。たたりを都合よく利用して村の集積を毎年2人ずつ消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。そしてこのシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか、その一点にしか興味はないんだ。
Yeah, it is kind of funny when the culprit describes their own actions. Also, I do have to admit, Keiichi's a stand-up dude here. For all of his faults, he doesn't really care about him dying at this point. He's just upset that other people were dragged into it more than anything. I mean, he's not happy about the fact that he's probably going to die, at least if this keeps going. But, yeah, he's more concerned about his friends dying.
どうしてなんだ。サトコには打ち上げですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで。どうしてなんだ。
The past incidents were all about Rika's family. That's part of it. Just about everybody killed off in those incidents were part of Rika's family. So what would she have to gain from them? Completely obliterating one house. That's what she would have to gain from them. A silence fell between us. Shion didn't answer for a while.
ケイちゃん、もういじめないでください。
Oh, good. She's pulling out the acting again. A sob. Was Shion crying?
私だって何が何だかわからないんです。最後殿に忍び込んだあの晩からすべて。
It was the same for me. As I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation subsiding.
あの晩、高野さんたちが死んだと聞き、耳を疑いました。そしてすぐに気づいたんです。今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。忍び込んだのは私たち4人。私とケイちゃんだけが都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか、ケイちゃんにはわかりますよね。
There was nothing fake about her words. Yes, there is. She even understood how I felt.
だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。私はみんなが入ってはいけないという細工殿に面白半分な気持ちで踏み入ってしまいました。いけないことだとは分かっていましたが、本当に面白半分な気持ち、ちょっとした探検気分のつもりだったんです。一緒に入った高野さんたちはその後すぐに殺されてしまいました。それもあんなむごい最後。あの日からいつ私も襲われるのではないかと怯えています。君吉のおじいちゃんしか助けてくれる人がいません。だからおじいちゃん、助けてって。君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。
Yeah, can we clear up the point in time exactly when you asked him? And when you told him this? Can we clear that up?
そしてにっこり笑ってシオンちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
Shion cried bitterly, recalling the beloved mayor's death. It was such a sad voice that none who heard it could prevent it from twisting their hearts. Again, Did I let my emotions take over and go off at her? Shion was in the same situation as me. She should have been my one and only comrade. Thump. My heart pounded. My other self, deep within my mind, whispered to me. Don't forget, Keiichi Maebara. Don't forget about the mayor on the morning after Watanagashi. He was told of Takano-san and Toмотaki-san's deaths over the phone and committed to a meeting that evening. He went to a hospital appointment. He didn't tell his family. He'd only made it back just in time for the meeting. He went straight to the assembly hall. That's what Ooishi-san said.
いつ村長に打ち明けたんだよ。
Hey, at least he's asking.
ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで。シオンは打ち明けたんだよな。君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
I'd begun to get scared of saying it aloud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying it was contradictory, though. Besides, if there was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me.
村長さんは重い痔を患ってて病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか？
ケイちゃん、それが何か？
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
There was a momentary silence. Then after stammering a few times, she replied,
痔だったのは知ってます。座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな？
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど。
Yeah, she's immediately stammering a whole lot here. Don't.
でもケイちゃん、それが一体何の？
Shion didn't know what hospital Mayor went to. That meant it was impossible for her to have gone all the way to the hospital to confess everything. Since she didn't know his destination, she obviously couldn't have seen him on the train either. If there was any other chance for her to contact him, it would have been after he came to Hinamizawa. The train, however, had been delayed, and he only got back right before the meeting was about to start. He didn't have time. There wouldn't have been enough time for him to listen to Shion spill the beans.
単刀直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ？どこで？いつ？大雑把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなことを。
Her sob pierced into my ears. I was taken by the illusion that I was bullying her. Even so, I'll say it. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Please prove to me that you're the real Shion.
ありえないんだよ。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまでシオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。シオンは今この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう。帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのが会合の始まる直前だった。つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。
I heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. It was so painful for me to say it.
シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか？そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか？ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? The question was so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response.
実は会合にで。
あの日シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
園崎シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
The other end fell silent as the grave. It was so quiet that it was like the phone cord had been cut. I couldn't sense anyone there.
大石さんは君がすでに失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろ。
I don't know if we're going to get to the Ace Attorney breakdown. Shion's sobs were torturing me. Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything wrong.
頼むシオン。俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン頼むから。シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
If Shion ever did have the chance to meet with the mayor on that day, then that meant...
村長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
we go! There we go. That's what I was waiting for. There's our Ace Attorney breakdown. That face, my God. That face. Wow. And we've been waiting for that for a good half hour now, haven't we? Beep beep went the dial tone. I stood there dazed for a while until I realized she'd hung up on me. I immediately went to go find a gun. Yeah, that was the total Mion snap. That's complete and total breakdown right there. At the Suzu Mahjong Parlor and more scrapbook. He's gonna find one. He's gonna find a gun. He's gonna need it. My God, that was a long time in coming. Okay, what do we got? The problem with twins. How appropriate. This is not limited to just Hinamizawa, but in Onagafuchi village especially, the three families detested giving birth to twins as successors. We need, yes, a gun that fires baseball bats. Sharpened baseball bats. I'm pretty sure that came out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but you know, something along those lines. The long-term dictatorship built on the precarious balance of the three families must have feared collapsing under the weight of internal strife from things like family quarrels. According to the literature, if twins were born, then they had to be cold. With that, the very fact that both the Sonozaki family successor, Mion Sonozaki, and her twin, Shion, are still alive is in itself deeply interesting. Perhaps the current leader, Oryu, is sympathetic. Of course, the twins were not cared for equally, and as the heir, Mion received special treatment. From what I've heard, despite the two of them looking exactly the same on the outside, the talent lies solely with Mion. My own observations of the two of them doesn't leave me with that impression. Tradition dictates that the leader of the Sonozaki family is said to inherit a demon and that they tattoo a magnificent one onto his or her back. In accordance with the tradition, there is an extremely high possibility that Mion has such a tattoo on her back. From what I've heard, there's apparently a magnificent demon tattooed on Oryu's back as well. Then I wonder what sort of tattoo belongs to the heir, Mion. I really want to see her back. Maybe we will find out. Seems like the type of thing they would let us know. But boy, that face, man. That face. That was a priceless face. Reserved for the day. Suzu Mahjong Parlor.
あんりゃ、クラちゃん。あんたが一番遅いよ。若い人はみんな揃ってる。
じゃあお母さん、すみませんね。
Ooishi handed over a convenience store bag with a carton of cigarettes in it to the old lady who owned the Mahjong Parlor, and she shrewdly made herself scarce. She was used to this by now.
おいさん、お疲れ様っす。
なんだ、みんな真面目に待ってたんですか？さんまでもやってりゃよかったのに。
Everyone sitting at the Mahjong tables in the small parlor were Ooishi's subordinates, but there were no tiles laid out anywhere.
皆さん、連日の不眠不休の捜査、本当にお疲れ様です。
So yeah, if it comes to that, we're gonna have to see their backs. Which kind of worries me how this game might actually, handle that, but we'll see. Energetic responses filled the parlor. Already, it lost the atmosphere as a place of entertainment.
状況は芳しくありません。所長が園崎系議員の恫喝に屈したそうです。近日中に高野殺しはお隣の県警さんに譲り、村長たちの失踪は行方不明扱いで生活課に委ねるようです。
That damn upstart chief. The veterans in the room cursed him.
請求した令状もすべて却下されました。課長からは園崎家界隈には近づくなとまで言われています。いやいや困ったもんです。ちなみに私には来週から警視庁への研修命令が出るそうです。その後は余った有給を伊豆で消化しろとまで言われています。いや、そういうのも悪くないですね。
He heard a few dry laughs. It wasn't anything to laugh about, but that was all they could do.
いつもそうですが、事件と車のキーの閉じ込めはよく似ています。開けるための鍵はいつもその中に閉じ込められているんです。車なら修理業者を呼んで扉をこじ開ける。事件なら熊ちゃん、図面を。
Kumatani flipped over the whiteboard. On the back was a map of the Sonozaki premises made with magnets.
私もずーっとこの商売をやってます。勘には自信があるつもりですがね。今回ばかりは外れるかもしれませんよ。退職金が欲しい方は私が10数える間に席を外してください。
Ooishi began to count to 10, and everyone counted along with him. It was their famous 10-count resolution.
10! ああ、誰も出てかないよ。皆さん、ご家族はもっと大切にしてくださいよ。
Everybody laughed uproariously, cheering things up.
各自、手元の資料を確認。監視カメラの所在と視覚を叩き込んでください。
Kinda, yeah, there is a little bit of that dynamic going on here. Say, police generally don't work like this, though.
熊ちゃんは指揮車で待機。非常時は私に代わって指揮をお願いしますよ。小宮山君は突入 A 班、敦君は突入 B 班を指揮。
They're gonna raid the house.
監視班は1から8まで所定の位置で監視を。ボンチ君はタイムテーブルを厳守。
Well, you know.
秘書に怪しまれないようローテを管理してください。さて、待機中の班が一番大仕事ですよ。課長に私の所在を聞かれたらとぼけてください。ゲストのエスコート役は私がやります。きっと会場へ連れて行きますので、皆さん気長に待っててください。
落ちるっすかね、前原圭一は。
私の見たところじゃ明日明後日にはいけそうですよ。もうコロッとね。
Yeah, that's kind of an easy bet to win at this point. Oh, good. I got the Detective Watanagashi achievement after finishing out the last tip. Which, more than likely means that this last tip we received is the last tip in the game, and we are about to hit the final chapter. The first game did that too, by the way. So, I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back. And, I will save it first, because saving's good. But I'm going to take a quick break. Yeah, next is boss. Next is the boss. Turn the music back on so I can go refill my drink. And I think we will be wrapping up this story before the end of the stream. We will discuss the ramifications of this later. Yeah, be back in a few.